Okay, so today I will be presenting about EL education, and my name is Madison Kerr. So first we'll be talking about definitions of English language learners and Arizona's definition of them. So an EL student in Arizona is a child who cannot speak English and who is not native when speaking English. They cannot complete any assignment work in English. The population in Arizona and the demographics of preschool through 12th grade. Arizona's population of ELLs in 2022 was 93,000. The languages that were spoken by the most common people were Vietnamese, Navajo, Somali, and Spanish. Structured English immersion in Arizona. So in Arizona, they must include a minimum of 2 hours a day for English language for K through 5 and a minimum of, for grades K through 12, a minimum of an hour and 40 minutes a day. The proficiency standards must be aligned with the instruction and spoken and written language teaching, including ways for students to learn their verbal and written skills and complex language content for appropriate support for the complex language content for each grade level. Arizona's language developmental approach. So EL students is a foundational component that in all educational systems in Arizona that EL students are valuable to the community and that they provide valuable assets, and that each person in the educational system is ensuring that they are provided with a adequate education, they're respected, and they are valued. In the first principle, we are going to be discussing behaviors and expectations, and this is that each student is a new learner. There's a new vision of the learner. EL students bring valuable assets to the classroom, and educators ensure that they are provided an inclusive and respectful environment. The use of their home languages is an advantage for EL students and to assist them in the community. Educators are responsive to their different strengths, needs, and identities of each student, and they encourage each student to recognize their strengths that they bring to the table. In the second principle, we're going to be talking about integrated language instruction and literacy development with content learning. This is the content standards and proficiency standards to support differentiating instruction by each student's language proficiency level. There are a variety of different support systems that help the grade level to become easier to learn and support students in their subjects of language reading and writing. And it encourages independent learning and providing students with choice for learning language and increasing motivation. In the third principle, talking about targeted and explicit language instruction and the content and disciplinary practices are implemented into instruction just as literacy and language are. In the same way, this creates different opportunities for students to use language and to reflect on reading, writing, listening, and speaking with their content by their grade level. This creates a classroom environment of critical thinking and problem solving in learning language and using language supports and language development and other opportunities for discussing language. The fourth principle is about assessments, monitoring students, and feedback on those assessments. So schools and districts use different assessments proficiency standards, and tools to monitor each student's progress. The no, the assessments can be used with rubrics that show feedback on language and development of the student's skills and their knowledge. And teachers can use student progress to guide students and educators' next steps on how they can best assist their students. And educators can help ELLs by creating a path for them that promotes self-direction, opportunities, and an awareness of their strengths. What is student agency? So is student agency is providing students with a choice in their learning. And how can educators do this? Educators can do this by providing goal setting, providing choice in everyday learning, such as assignments, assessments, um, or projects. And having a choice in their learning helps them have a sense of belonging, build a sense of confidence and efficacy. By choice, I mean students can choose between, if the assignment is on an animal, the students can choose the animal that they would want to research and write about. Or if the assignment is a specific writing prompt, maybe instead of doing a essay or a writing prompt, they can make a poster. This makes students feel heard and have a sense of belonging. Structured English Immersion Newcomer. So this is typically for students who are brand new to the United States, and this includes 4 hours with half is math, science, and social studies, and the other half is English. And this is for students who are below 2 years in a U.S. school or have dealt with interrupted education. So a student who is an immigrant or dealt with a natural disaster or was a migrant. And newcomer students are together with other newcomers, so they're not with English speaking students. Structured English immersion pullout. So this means that there is instruction outside the classroom, so they're pulled into a different classroom, and they are also instructed in a mainstream classroom together towards developing their English. Targeted instruction is an hour a day for grades K through 5, and for grades 6 through 12, it's 50 minutes a day. And integrated is 60 minutes a day for K through 5 and 50 minutes a day for 6 to 12. So targeted instruction does not have to be all in like cumulative, all after the other. It can be throughout the day. And integrated for this model means that they are integrated with other English speaking peers. Structured English Immersion 2 hour. So this is components comprised of 2-hour increments that are in Arizona's language standards. And the targeted instruction, when they have the targeted instruction in this model, it is ELs only. And when they have integrated instruction, they'll be working alongside their English speaking peers. Structured English Immersion 50-50. So this means that half of the content is taught in the student's home language or primary language, and half is taught in English. This is the model that requires a waiver, and this is also the model that has gotten a lot of pushback when I was researching about the structured English immersion models. Determining EL eligibility and the involvement of the parents. So when they're determining EL eligibility in Arizona, we are going to discuss about the home language survey, which is a survey that students take as soon as they are in um, the school with their parents, as soon as they come in. And this is composed of taken either in their primary language or in English. And there's a set of questions that is asked. What type of language do they speak? Are they bilingual? What language do they speak to their family, their friends? Azella is another way how EL eligibility is determined in Arizona. Um, this is an assessment that students take, and it is taken 2 times during the year. First, they are assessed in their English language proficiency, and then they can be reassessed in the spring again to determine if they have improved in their skills or if they have not improved or stayed the same. Parental involvement and parents' rights. So parents have the choice if they want their students to take the Azella or participate in the assessment tests. Um, they also have a choice to opt their students out of EL programs. Um, they have a right to view their students' records. Um, yeah, standard accommodations and Azella. So any of the students who are special ed or students with disabilities, they must take, even though they are students with disabilities, they must take the Azella first and then be reassessed. And then can they only take the alternative assessment for students with disabilities, the ALPA. And there are several different accommodations that are made through through Azella. If there are students with disabilities who are special ed, they may need assistive technologies. They can use these during the writing portion. Students can have prompts read to them, the responses read to them during multiple choice. They can use assistive technologies in the writing portion and can use grammar check, spell check, paragraphing, or proofing. Um, Other accommodations that can use are enlarged texts, paper versions of the test. Um, it can be scribed to them. Thank you.